Hello, everyone. On June 10th, WDI USA hosted a live and well-attended webinar to discuss the recent decision by the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit affirming a lower court decision that a Washington state law prohibits a female-only spa from excluding men. Facilitated by President Elizabeth Chesak and featuring Kara Dansky, the informative webinar titled The Ninth Circuit's Decision in Olympus Spa versus Armstrong is now available for viewing on our YouTube channel. Moving on to state and national news, in a profoundly significant development, on June 12th, the LA Times reported the announcement by Children's Hospital Los Angeles, CHLA, that as of July 22nd, it will be shutting down its Center for Trans Youth Health and Development, arguably the largest and most influential pediatric gender clinic in the US. Its director, Dr. Johanna Olson Kennedy, is infamous for downplaying irreversible elective double mastectomies, saying, if you want breasts at a later point in your life, you can go get them, as well as for withholding publication of the results of a 2-year federally funded study on the effects of puberty blockers on the mental health of minors, after results indicated that use of the drugs did not lead to mental health improvements, and she feared the results would be weaponized by opponents. As Jamie Reed of the LGB Courage Coalition writes in a Substack piece, while framed by CHLA as a difficult decision forced by external pressures from the perspective of those who have long advocated for the safety and well-being of young people, this is a resounding victory for common sense, ethical medicine, and the protection of childhood. Jamie's article titled CHLA, Be a Leader in Acknowledging Harms and Do the Right Thing by These Kids, not only offers reassurance and a path forward for families directly impacted by the clinic's closure, but demands accountability and immediate commitment from CHLA to provide comprehensive, long-term follow-up care for all patients who have received puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, or surgical interventions through their center. I cannot recommend the piece strongly enough and hope it gets the broad circulation it deserves. While it's encouraging that CHLA has at long last seen the writing on the wall, the same unfortunately cannot be said for California AG Rob Bonta, who on June 10th filed a lawsuit against the DOJ over the Trump administration's demand that public school districts bar male athletes from competing in girls' sports. The suit seeks to block the DOJ from enforcing the June 3rd letter issued by Assistant AG for Civil Rights Harmeet Dillon, ordering all public schools in the state to certify in writing that they will uphold federal standards and therefore break with state law and the California Interscholastic Federation's rules, which permit athletes to compete in sports based on their alleged gender identity as opposed to their sex. California attorney Julie Hamel provides an excellent breakdown of the suit on X for those interested in reviewing it. On June 12th, the Seattle Times reported that Darby Kekkonen, former director at Washington State's Office of Superintendent of Public Instruction, OSPI, filed suit against the agency, as well as its superintendent, Chris Rakedahl, alleging that she was fired in retaliation for voting in support of barring boys from competing in girls' sports as a member of the Tumwater School Board, where she also serves as president. In a statement, Kekkonen, a former competitive swimmer, said that OSPI fired a high-performing employee for exercising the rights and responsibilities of an elected official and standing up for women and girls, a viewpoint which the state superintendent disagrees with. Tumwater is one of several Washington school districts currently caught in a bind. Either comply with state law and jeopardize federal funding, or comply with federal law and risk punishment from the state. In closing, I'd like to draw your attention to Kara's most recent Female Free Speech Friday post honoring Danny O'Halloran, a Maine House Democrat who recently broke with the party by taking a strong stand on behalf of her state's women and girls. As Kara explains, in April, Ryan Fecteau, the Speaker of the Maine House, brought a proposed constitutional amendment to the House floor that would enshrine gender identity in the equality of rights provision of the state constitution. It passed in the House 74-69 with O'Halloran and one other Democrat voting no. It will go to the Senate, and if it passes, be sent back to the House for a final vote. It would need a two-thirds majority for final enactment because it proposes a constitutional amendment. Even if it manages to pass in the legislature, it will have to go to the Maine residents for a referendum in order to become law. The bill is very unlikely to clear all of those hurdles and is unlikely to become law. O'Halloran did not have to vote the way she did. She could have kept her head down and done what her party leaders, including the Speaker, have been telling her to do, knowing that even if she voted for it, it is unlikely to ultimately become law. I have never spoken with O'Halloran, but I assume she cast this vote because it was the right thing to do for women and girls. Representative O'Halloran, thank you. Thank you for bucking the party trend and voting to protect women and girls as a sex class in your state. That's all I have today. Thank you.